Now, I may end up juggling 16 guys in 1 year. Each of them has a lifespan of 3 months, others 2, others 6 weeks.
It can't be 16 in
That's
1
all
year.
well and good. All I'm saying is, how's that not being a hoe?
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Purely Candid. I'm Nadia.
I'm Izzie.
And we're joined by another guest, a returning guest.
Your favorite guest
Yes.
of
our
all
favorite
time.
guest.
Yeah.
The one and only.
A friend of Purely Candid, James, aka, what did we call him last time?
Slim Daddy.
Slim Daddy.
FATBOY.
Yeah, so many names.
Slim Daddy.
Yes, you're now
Where did
Slim
that-
Daddy.
what?
You can't be FATBOy anymore.
Yeah. But most importantly, he's the voice of the boy child. And we are
Yes.
glad to have him back for another
Self-acclaimed.
Candid episode. This one is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about something quite controversial, but also very relevant for this day and age, the Hoe Phase. Alice, I see you smiling.
The Hoe Phase.
Is you a hoe?
Ho, 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 like Father Christmas says.
Uh-huh.
Am I a hoe? I think, okay, if I say every woman,
Yeah.
I may be generalizing, but almost, okay, a very big percentage of women had their whole phase at some point in time. They may not, it may not have been intentional, they may not have realized it, but I think every woman has had a whole phase at
Yeah.
some point.
Right. So before we get into the gist of the episode, the word hoe can be a little bit derogatory. Men use it to slut shame, to name call women, and to kind of make us feel a certain way about our sexuality. But in this episode, we hope to shed light on the term hoe. It could be H-O, it could be H-O-E, it could be W-H-O-R-E, the full
Yes.
word. Whatever you call it, it's still the same thing. It means hoe.
Yep.
Okay, so before we get into the episode, what would you define the whole phase? How would you define the whole phase? Let's start with James.
So for me, I don't think the whole phase is a phase. I think the whole phase, if you want to call it that, is a woman's default state.
Wow.
Because if by whole we mean a person that constantly keeps their sexual and romantic options open and is constantly exploring it, for me, that's a woman's default state. It is not a phase. In fact, what is the phase is when she's in a relationship. That's when she's taking a break from the streets to where she's been
Shots
trying out
fired.
different guys. She's been on different dates, had different flings, situationships, and she thinks, you know what, maybe it's time for me to settle.
Yeah.
It's about time I got treated to some nice dinners and vacations and trips. My friends are being taken on holidays, and yet here I am, one situationship to another, one F-boy to another. Yeah, I'm having a good time, but man, my birthday was last week. He didn't send me no present.
Yeah.
It's time to get a boyfriend or a husband. And so she comes out of that default state into this relationship or marriage phase, which is a phase because, as you know, they tend to not last very long. So for me, a whole phase isn't so much a phase. Rather, it's the very definition of a woman's default state. By default, a woman is a hoe. And I know that sounds very bad, and you want
Derogatory.
It
to
sounds very
you want
bad,
to
yeah.
scratch my eyes out.
Shots
But
fired.
I thought in the era of the sexual revolution, we're reclaiming all these terms, you know, slut walks and all this stuff. So I thought being a hoe is supposed to be empowering, ladies. What changed? But my point is simple. If you define a hoe as someone who keeps her sexual and romantic options open and is actively exploring those options, then that, by definition, is a hoe, and that is a woman's default state. When she enters into a relationship or a marriage, that is when she's taking a break. That's the phase, because it is a phase. A woman's relationship with a man typically will not last very long. Relationships barely go beyond 6 months, a year or two if you're really lucky. Divorces are rampant. And so what typically happens when a woman is in a marriage or relationship and she feels like it's kind of slowing down, she says, I need to find myself. In other words, being in the relationship or marriage was a departure from herself. She was now pretending to be what she was not. So that's why it's a phase. When she snaps out of that phase and she wants to go back to her default natural state, where does she go? To the streets.
I would like to
the whole
disagree with
phase
that.
is a woman's default state.
I almost told him, FATBOY, who hurt you?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same, but I would like to disagree. But I also want to first go to Izzie to get her definition of
The whole phase.
The whole phase.
I'm burning to respond to FATBOY, but let me define the whole phase. Now, personally, I think up until today, I had defined the whole phase wrongly. Now, to me, the whole phase was the point whereby you are kind of at the verge of settling. So you're kind of running through multiple guys so that you can find among them who is the person, okay, who is my poison among them. So I try, FATBOY, 2 months, it doesn't work. I move on to Alex, 2 months, it doesn't work. I go on to Fred, 2 months, it doesn't work. I go on to Peter, I go on to, Gerald. So I end up dating multiple guys and then finding my one person. But in my thought, I would be dating them exclusively. Only that my tolerance level for bullshit or being patient is very low.
Yeah.
So their lifespan is very short. But afterwards, before shooting, when we were having a conversation, I think we disagreed on something, and then after checking, it's actually sleeping with multiple guys
at the same time. Yeah.
At the same time. So I'm like, my definition of the whole phase was totally different, like completely different. So, but I still think the serial dating is also confused a lot as the whole phase, because people call Kim Kardashian a hoe. People call Lori Harvey a hoe. These people
They
date
are hoes.
one person at a time.
They are hoes.
They're
exclusively dating
They're
one man
exactly.
at a time.
It's never like
just
that.
serial dating.
But they
It's
are
never
though.
like that. So, have you heard of a phrase called monkey branching? This is basically how women transition from one relationship to another. And I don't know if you know this, but according to research and statistics, the majority of serious relationships, if they are to end, are ended by the woman.
But you know,
Wait. And how do they typically end? Again, she's in a relationship. She starts to feel bored. What does she do?
I need
She
a break.
checks her DMs, or she starts entertaining the offers from the guys who are expressing interest. And typically, she will entertain these offers while she is still in the relationship. And only when she starts to feel like one of those options seems viable, then she will break
Check
the
out,
news
yeah.
to the boyfriend that, I need to go find myself. And the boyfriend is there wondering, okay, baby, what can I do? Okay, let me take you to dinner. Spends
She's
money
long
trying
gone.
to please her, not knowing that she's already packed her bags. She has a new boyfriend, only for her to break up. And next week, she's already in a new relationship. And the boyfriend was there busy thinking he could save it the whole time. Yet it was over. So serial dating is essentially women engaging in their natural state, which is to be permanently in search of a better option. And that is her default state. Now, you might hate to have us use the word hoe to describe that, but in practice, that's what it is. What else would you call it?
well, a hoe could also be someone that is paid to have sex.
Because listen,
I'm
while
not
you're
getting
entertaining
paid-
these other offers, you're probably still sleeping with your boyfriend, right?
Because he's my default man. Why not?
Exactly.
Yes.
Why won't I sleep with him?
The same way men have space holders.
Yes.
Like, there is you at home who is a space holder, and there are like 17 side chicks in the background. Do we call them hoes?
You
We don't
can
call
if
them
you
hoes.
you see, if you want to, you can call guys whatever they want. It just so happens that the term we have selected to describe women in this sort of scenario is the word hoe. And I think what you hate isn't so much the word, because I think I beg your pardon. I think what you don't hate is the lifestyle. What you hate is the label.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree
Because
with
you
you.
very much are
Yes.
happy with the lifestyle.
lifestyle.
It's the lifestyle you embrace and the lifestyle that you live and the lifestyle you
Yeah.
celebrate. Go find yourself, live your best life.
Yeah. Do you?
Go find yourself.
Yeah.
And in so doing, you're hopping from one guy to another, one bit to another. And then when you get tired of that, you're like, okay, I need some guy to treat me like a girlfriend. Hence, the phase, which is the relationship or marriage. That's the actual phase, and it's a temporary phase. But then not long thereafter, you're going to go back to the default state, which is being a hoe.
Okay, so if Alice comes in, my definition would be close to yours, where a woman is exploring, figuring out her options. You could, in that moment, be having 2, 3, 4 guys at the same time. But it doesn't mean that all of these guys are serious contenders. One of them could be a more serious contender, but you're open to exploring other options while in that phase.
Are you having
and
sex
I think
with
it
these
is a
men
phase.
during?
You
could
can
or
have
you
sex
could
with
not.
them, or you could not have
Yeah.
sex. It depends on
Sex
your
is not
game.
a must.
If you are good
Okay,
at
so if
keeping
you're
a man
fielding three
interested
guys-
without having sex, then you would not have sex with
so
him.
you're here exploring your options. There's guy number 1, guy number 2, guy number 3.
Yes.
All right. Who you probably like in to different varying degrees.
Different levels.
But it could be that you are sexual with at least one and possibly the second.
Possibly two. Possibly
Right?
two.
It could even be all three.
Because
Or
you're
even
gonna
all
be-
three. Yes.
Exactly. So how is that not being a hoe?
Am I getting paid?
Okay, so
But I'm saying
prostitution. Okay, so whore is, I think, is not really. Is it really an English word?
I think. I don't know.
Because
I don't
a
know the
prostitute
origins
and a
of the
harlot are
word.
the same. A whore has been, so a whore, actually a prostitute. Like I could call you whore, and it is okay. The same way, some ladies, joke around and say you bitch, and it is okay. But if someone calls you a prostitute, that is so direct of like you go out Otunda, they pay you for the service.
Okay,
so you may not be
are you not paid for it though?
There's no direct
would I-
payment.
would I-
There's no
would I
direct
not-
payment.
dinners,
Would I not need to take you to a fancy date?
yeah, the
To a
dinners,
fancy
the
place?
trips,
Because you're not going to hook up with me for free, right?
Yes, I want us to actually
how is that
define,
not,
describe the
an
different things
exchange?
that show that a woman is actually going through a whole phase. Because we talked about the dinners, the sex happening, but is it always that a woman is having sex with multiple men? Or how would you know for sure that she's going through a whole phase?
If she hasn't publicly declared to be in a serious relationship.
With any guy. What if I'm just single?
But like I said, to me, the relationship is the phase. Because, I don't even like the word whole phase because it makes it sound like it comes and goes.
It's actually a phase.
It's a
Fatboy.
phase.
Before you settle down, it is a phase. Because
What
when
settling
you
down
are-
do you do though?
No, listen. When you are younger, you are naive. You're probably with one guy whom you dated from the time you started dating for, I don't know how many years. It's one person. Then at some point, you outgrow this person. Now, as you're taking yourself back in the market, you don't know who can I entertain and who shouldn't I. So to me, one of the characteristics is the multiple change of partners. It could be sexual, it could be non-sexual. Of this month, I'm with Fatboy. We go out, this is, I don't feel his energy after, a month. I move on to, Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm with Brandon for another three months, and there's certain things about him that they really turn me off. I move on to Vincent. Now Vincent may have a longer phase, and I may actually start dating him, but a year later it's not just working out. I move on to another person.
Sure, but let me ask you a question. For the average woman, isn't that her typical dating life?
It's not.
No,
She's basically,
it's not.
typically relationships don't last that long here, like 2 months, 3, 6 maybe.
That's what I'm asking. Who hurts you? Which kind of women have you been
James,
with?
because the truth is...
I'm just painting the reality of what's happening.
No.
Yeah, and have you seen what's happening now, like with online dating and stuff like that?
It's
Essentially,
because the options are now multiple. We have a platform
Exactly.
from which you can choose partners at the same time.
So I feel like here's where the disagreement is coming up. You seem to think that to be in a series of relationships within a short span of time is normal, right? And that it deserves no comment.
No.
But for me, from a guy's perspective, I see that as kind of being a hoe because typically you're entertaining all of these options simultaneously, and there's a lot of intersecting of one situation into another.
Do you know why?
At the time you're fading out of one, you're already starting to be sexually active. Like, you can, if I meet a girl today and we go out on a few dates and there seems to be a chemistry, I think she likes me. The first time we hook up will most likely be a time where she's still in the end phases of a relationship she's in at that moment, because you're very rarely ever going to find a girl who has no dealings with a man. You just pluck her off the streets and there's no man in her life. There's a dude she's sleeping with. At any point you approach a woman, there's a man there. So essentially, we are always snatching girls from other men, and in a period of time that she is entertaining us and indulging us and being intimate with us before deciding to be official with us, is she not being a hoe?
She's not. I want to disagree
She's
with
not?
you because the phase exists for reasons. One, a woman may be of a certain age, and within a certain age, you have a certain shelf life. Let's say in your 20s, right now I'm hot on the market. So I should make sure I take advantage of my looks. The fact that men are approaching me, men want me.
Amen.
So
Hallelujah.
I have to make sure I get the best deal I can possibly get.
Absolutely.
It is a phase.
It is a phase.
But
You
that's-
know, the moment you clock 30,
But that's called being a hoe.
it's not
basically.
called being a
Ends,
hoe.
and that's why we are
It's
saying
not
that
called being a hoe.
It is a phase.
It does, because
Okay,
it
maybe
means,
it is, but it's also still a phase.
It means, so you and I, let's say we're in a relationship, we have a small disagreement, all of a sudden you're going to start going out on dates with the other guys
But
in
what
your
kind of
DMs.
disagreement are we talking
Exactly.
It
What
could be
kind of
minor. Maybe I
disagreement?
pissed you off
No.
that day. I
No
didn't
way,
compliment
no
you on
way,
your
no
hairstyle.
By the
Big
time
I disagree
am
with you there.
checking out, it means that there was already something wrong
Yeah.
before. I was just looking for the trigger to make me now step out.
Are you not aware of the meme that goes like this? How it's always the case that the guy your girlfriend dates after you is always the guy she told you not to worry about. See,
I've had that.
so these guys, there are constantly men in a woman's life, and she's entertaining them to varying degrees. She's constantly shopping for the best option. And as you said, if you're at your prime, you're looking your best, you feel like you want to get the best deal the market can
Not
offer.
having a waiting list. Just because I have options doesn't mean that I am indulging in all these options. Some options are there for just in case.
Yes.
So it means, yes, you're on the list. You're not active, but you're there.
Well, here's something funny, because for me, like almost 99% of relationships I've been in the early stages, like in the first 2 to 3 weeks of that relationship, my now new girlfriend will always be, whoever that girl might be at that moment in time, will always be receiving odd calls in the middle of the night. And when you ask, she'll be like, just some dude giving me a hard time. And it
Yeah,
always
some
turns
guy is
out,
bugging me.
it always turns out it's the boyfriend who was there previously who is asking her, where are you? What's going on? What did I do?
Yeah.
In his mind, he still thinks he's in a relationship that's salvageable. Meanwhile, she's already in a new relationship, just waiting to break the news to him. And then, eventually she'll go out, maybe meet with him somewhere and say, hey, it's not working. And she's not going to disclose to him that now she's dating me. That's how it works.
So the problem especially in our African context or African culture is, for us, our breakup is subtle. We don't, the same way a man rarely asks, an African man rarely asks, will you be my girlfriend? We start to hang out, and then all of a sudden sex happens, and then we assume we are dating.
We assume you're dating,
Exactly. In the other world, if the man hasn't asked, will you be my girlfriend? You're not dating. The same way for us, if we are breaking up, it's subtle. Just distance, I start ignoring you. Now, by the time a man insists and says, okay, what is happening? Then a woman comes with and downloads all these things of, you know what, da, 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 da. But by the time this woman started entertaining you, I can assure you, she did not sleep with that guy yesterday and came to meet you today.
What are you talking
A lot-
about?
no.
What are you talking about?
She checked out slowly.
Yes,
slowly.
she may check out emotionally, but still be present physically. You can sleep with a girl today, and tomorrow she's telling you, let's take a break.
So
Because the guy she has been seeing is now being more serious with her, so she feels like it's time to jump ship. She
Yeah.
can sleep with you that day and still break the news. What are you talking about?
If there's a benefit to, because like by the time you are at the verge of breaking up, you are tired all the time. Oh, I have cramps.
Actually-
oh, I am sick. Oh, I have a headache. It's excuse.
Actually,
after
some girls can
excuse
give it to you as
after
a parting
excuse.
Yeah.
gift. As a
Easy.
parting gift.
easy. Though sometimes I agree with James to a small extent, because we have ways that we categorize our men. There's a warm prospect, there's a cold prospect, and there's the one that's hot.
Yeah.
So the hot one is the one that's giving you all the right signals,
all the
that
attention.
he's commitment, he's showing some level of commitment, he's consistent, all these other things. Check. So a warm prospect is like 2 weeks in, maybe you don't know really where it's going to go. It could go hot, it could go cold. You don't know where it's going to go. So a guy like that, you can entertain another guy on the side because you do not know which way he will go.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
So if you're
men are the custodians of commitment. Let's agree on that.
That's true. That's
So
very
until you
true.
give me clear signals, allow me exercise my
Keep
right
my options
to have
be
my
a
options
hoe.
open.
To be
Whatever
a
you
hoe.
call it, I will keep my options open.
So, like I said, you're happy embracing the lifestyle. You just don't like the label. It's
The
kind of
term.
it's kind of like how right now everyone's excited about this parliamentary thing where Matthias Mpuga,
Got a bribe, but not a
got
bribe.
500 million shillings,
Yeah.
and everyone is calling it a bribe or an act of corruption. Whereas for me, his perspective, it's not that. It's for him, it's just an entitlement and emolument. It's constitutionally whatever. So from his perspective, it's all good. Whereas
Yeah.
the rest of the country thinks something shady went down. So I think that's what's happening here. That the lifestyle you are choosing to embrace is really a whole lifestyle, but you just don't want the label. So how
it's
about you just
derogatory.
own the label, celebrate it, as you did with, what is it? Remember there used to be slut walk, reclaiming the word slut? Why can't you reclaim the word
yeah,
hoe, embrace it?
That term also died because at some point people are like, nah. It's like they tried it and then the same Amber Heard, whom we thought had started it, all of a sudden dropped it. So the slut walk and the bitch is something that we ladies are used to. Hey,
We're
bitch,
getting used to, yeah.
hey, exactly. But slut, whore,
I think we're
anything
getting
that's-
there easy. If you watch a number of like this new series that trend, Insecure by
Yeah.
Issa Rae, you could see that was really portrayed as an empowering thing that women are doing. You have multiple sex partners.
Exactly. There was an episode
You're
of,
just living your best life.
I saw a clip of that show, Nadia, where she was talking about hotation.
yeah.
So essentially,
Rotation of men.
basically, yeah, girls are maintaining a roster.
Yes.
You have a different guy for different occasions, for different days. How is that not being a
But
hoe?
men are doing this.
And
Okay.
this is the default. Like, this is how
It's not
chicks are
default. I
operating.
think,
It's
Onen,
not
because
default.
Today.
remember, first of
It's a
all, we are
phase.
in the city context, right? What
Yeah.
you think applies for girls in Kampala may not apply for someone maybe in Gulu or another city out of the central region. So I think we may think that this is how the streets look generally, but this can also be a very small section of the streets, and also for very few women that have options, maybe they look
Yeah.
a certain way. And I want us now to move on to the factors that drive women into this lifestyle that we think is a default status of women.
I think it's a default status. So, in fact, if anything, the question should be what drives women to enter into relationships? Because for me, that's the more unnatural aspect of it. And that's why women struggle with relationships and feel discontent fairly quickly, because they kind of have to pretend to be someone else. Have you not been in relationships where you meet a guy and you think, well, he likes this kind of a woman, so let me try and be that. And
But-
you keep that going for long enough till you start to feel like you're losing
Yeah.
yourself.
Every
I haven't done that.
relationship has, everyone sends their representative at the beginning. We are tolerant. Like, for example, I could tolerate a guy throwing his socks around because
Yeah.
we have just met 2 weeks ago. I can't come to his house and then I start telling him change this. Da, 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 da. He could tolerate the fact that I come, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do anything. All of us have our representatives. The moment the things are locked, the true you comes. You can't throw your socks there. You have to cook. You have to clean.
Yeah.
You have to. Yet at the beginning, you were very okay with us. Eating out every weekend. I don't cook. I don't clean. I don't do anything. You were okay with it. Now all of a sudden, the fact that I'm now locked, I have to clean. I have to cook. I have to pick up your socks. I have to do all these
So-
things. So everyone brings a representative at the beginning of a relationship.
That's
not just
a
women.
good point. You're actually making a good point. So in other words, if anything, what you're saying is everyone pretends, both men
At the
and women.
beginning.
In
Yes.
the beginning
Pretends.
of the relationship. Before you guys lock each other down, because you're trying to win her, and she's also playing the part of the good girlfriend, the understanding girlfriend. He says it's cold, I won't shower. She'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because if I come off too strong, I may look like a bitch. So I'm gonna be like, okay, it's fine. He comes back and throws his socks the other side. I am okay. I go, I pick it quietly, I put it on this. I won't say anything about it. So at the beginning of the relationship, all of us have a representative zone.
Okay, so but at the end of the day, at some point you start to feel discontent. You're not happy with the situation. You start to feel stifled, and you want
sides.
you want to go back to being your true natural self.
Both sides.
In other words, you want to hit the streets. You want to go back to the
No.
streets.
No way.
No.
I don't think it always happens that way. I think at some point compromise starts to come in, learning your partner starts to come. But that's when you're progressing towards a more serious relationship.
And even
if you are still in the option phase, like where you're keeping options open, you don't get to progress to see the other side of your partner.
Okay, so why is it that a lot of ladies that are in relationships will still post sexy photographs of themselves? So they're in relationships and they're constantly advertising for a replacement. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
That's why I'm saying that it always happens that at some point the relationship feels old and she wants to explore her options.
Nadia, correct me if I'm wrong. I think majority of the fancy pictures and blah 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 that we actually take it for other girls to see.
Yeah,
it has never been about men.
There's that, but there's also the fact that if I stay relevant on these streets, you will respect me.
Yes,
you will treat me nicely.
Yes.
So the thing is, if I block all options, there is no threat to you or to your existence in my life.
See, I'm not criticizing you for that. All I'm saying is own it. Own it. If you have decided that your sexual strategy is to optimize your youth and beauty while it is at its peak, you would be foolish to not put yourself out there and fish out the best option. And all I'm saying is there is a word for that.
No, and your youth
and you don't like the word.
It's a phase. For you, you're saying it's a default.
It's a default.
For us, we agree with everything except the term default and phase.
Yeah.
I am a youth now. I look good now. In 5 years' time, even a boda man may not turn back to you because there is nothing appealing anymore. So in this time when I am at my peak, I want to keep my options open so that, when the river dries and there are no prospects, I now hang on to my, Sawankambo because that is the only one who stuck around.
Yeah, moving on to what other factors, Alice, do you know that drive women into the phase?
To me, because a lot of times, the times I entered, like where my whole antenna was at the highest, I just got out of a relationship. Yes, I had just got out of a relationship. And now I am getting back in the market.
Back to the streets.
I want to, it's like an announcement of bitch is back. I am back. So the thirst traps, the what, like I am so constant, on social medias. I go to FATBOY's page. I like his pictures. I go to Alex's page. I like I'm trying to, okay, guys, I'm back.
Yeah.
So after a breakup, to me, that is when the whole antenna is.
Wait a minute. So if a girl likes your pictures, is that a signal of her showing interest?
Sometimes.
Really? If it's just one picture.
I mean, what are you doing liking like 10 pictures at once?
Exactly.
Are you a stalker?
It means that
maybe
you went to my page.
You found it funny.
No. Why?
Because
if I liked what you have just posted, it is okay.
Yes.
But I've liked things you posted 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It means
even men do that.
Went into your page, opened it, started scrolling, liking, commenting. That is the old definition.
And here I was thinking that these ladies just like my wonderful intellectual expression.
No, it depends. If it's just one post that it's a recent post.
My if I go back on the political situation in Uganda.
No one has that time.
My crazy meme that I posted.
No one has that time. No one has that time.
The whole antenna is up. Signal. We are looking for signal. If it connects here, poop.
Wow, because right now there's a girl that comments a lot on my posts and people always are teasing her that.
I think I know that chick.
Exactly. People are making insinuations.
Everyone is seeing it except you. Everyone sees it on the whole street.
Wow.
Except the person who's
the whole
chased.
street.
She's throwing the handkerchief and is telling you, FATBOY, pick the handkerchief and chase me. Come. Baby, come.
Okay, back to the factors. I would say my number one factor was age. I think towards the end of my 20s, late 20s.
Yeah.
That's when I proper juggled men.
Yeah.
I had I think in a good year, it would be 4 men, on rotation. I was on a
when a woman gives a number, always multiply it by 3.
No, that's actually the actual.
To be on the safe side.
I had nothing to hide. That was the actual number.
Even if there was 17, at the end of the day of the 17, she finally found one who has now got the permanent seats on parliament.
So I was on a rotation. I was juggling late 20s, I think from 27 to about 29 until I entered my 30s.
Yeah.
Okay. By the time I was 30, I was actually stable. And it's because of the rotation that I was able to find someone because I realized I was wasting so much time dating one guy at a time, one guy who was never committal,
emotionally
unavailable, didn't make time, all the wrong signs were there, but I was wasting time on such guys. I'm like, you know what? How do I hasten this thing? How do I find someone sooner while I can? What did I do? I just turned on the whole antenna, like you said, kept my options available. And yeah, I think the age thing of like knowing it's hot right now. How do I sell this cake now?
Yeah, but so the point that I'm making is, even though you make those efforts to signal to different guys that you might want something interesting, once you start those relationships, why is it that they end quickly? They typically do not last very long. So my question is, could that be because in entering into a relationship, you are departing from who you really are? You're becoming a person that you are not. That's why it starts to grate on you. It starts to make you feel uncomfortable and unhappy. So then you have this urge to end it and get back to the streets.
I want to attempt to answer that question, Izzie, before you come in. I think I wouldn't say you're departing from yourself or from your default status. That phase can be very tempting and very, very entertaining, I would say. Like the sex,
because once you're having fun in that period of time,
it's fun. But you know for sure it's not going to last forever. There can also be a bit of loneliness to it. You're also wondering whether this is really what you set out for. Everyone dreams of having a husband, children, stability, all these things. Empty. It can feel quite empty. The guys you're dating and sleeping with are not necessarily the perfect men. Yeah. You bang a guy today, tomorrow he's like, he doesn't even pick your calls. Like there are different things that happen.
Though, while it was happening.
The treatment is exciting. Sometimes it can be, if he's buying you gifts, he's taking you out, like doing some nice things for you. Those things can be exciting. How you feel when they leave or when they treat you a certain way is not exciting.
Yeah.
What? There's another guy.
It's a very short-lived. But the guy that you like may not be the one lined up.
Exactly.
You get what I mean?
Exactly. Because
remember, I said options. There are many options, but they're not like the best options.
So you're saying that even though there's a guy you like, you still keep others lined up in case the guy you like.
You line up about 4 guys. You like them to a certain extent, but there's one that you would prefer to be the one.
But now,
so that the one may not like me the same way.
Then I have to keep, trying.
Next best option, next best option.
So like me, Nadia, the whole age thing, to me, it felt like a self-discovery. Because yes, I was also getting out of my 20s, entering into 30s. For a lady leaving 20s to enter into 30s, it's scary. It's very scary. Because everyone is telling me, it's telling you you're now growing old.
All your friends are getting married.
Exactly, all your friends are getting married. The guys also love younger girls. So at that point in time, you now start to discover. So, and that's why I said my version of the whole phase was the serial dating. Now, your tolerance level for like guma is a lot lower because time is running out. Your biological is catching up. So, and that is why you end up with 6-7 guys in 1 year. But that does not mean that
they are all at once.
Exactly. No, it's not all at once.
So then
I'm with you for a month. If it doesn't work out, there's no guma because I don't have time. Time is running out. I jump on to another person. I jump on. Now, I may end up juggling 16 guys in 1 year. Each of them has a lifespan of 3 months, others 2, others 6 weeks.
It can't be 16 in 1 year.
That's all well and good. All I'm saying is, how's that not being a hoe? You seem to accept the lifestyle but hate the label.
What we are saying, James, is it doesn't last for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but see, the reason why I say that the phase is in fact the relationship stage and the marriage stage is that we always are seeing that these things don't last long. The divorce rates are exponentially high now.
Now, I think that happens for women that marry young. So if you marry in your 20s, you've not had chance to explore the streets that we have gotten to know are not even nice anyways. Exactly. So for you come out into the streets thinking that there's something better out there. There is nothing.
So you end up leaving
nothing.
Your garden, which has been tilted, thinking that no, the grass is greener out there.
There's nothing.
You met your boyfriend at 16,
at uni,
at 21, you guys got married. You've never dated anyone outside here.
And you see your friends posting trips to Dubai, you think, oh my God, that's the life.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like women get hoodwinked by what their friends are posting because
peer pressure.
You're there enjoying the excitement of the streets, juggling different guys, living your life, enjoying your freedom, and then you start to see your friends posting holiday pictures, vacation pictures, restaurant photos, or maybe Valentine's. You've heard of the phrase cuffing season. Right? Cuffing season is essentially a thing where women start to feel anxious about being in relationships. So
it does happen.
Ordinarily, they're quite happy to be free, to not be accountable to any guy, to enjoy their life, to party whichever way they want. But then now it comes Valentine's season and wait, damn, I don't have a
Now I
boyfriend.
must have. Actually, towards Christmas as well. Towards the
Towards
holidays.
Christmas too.
Towards the holidays,
Yeah.
So then you then have this urge to latch on to some guy, believing that that's what you want. And so you enter that phase, but then you enter it and then very quickly you start to feel like it's not for you.
Yeah, but
And
very rarely does it happen in a sense that a woman has hoed, has explored the streets, and then she gets married or settles down and then leaves and continues the hoeing. It
My dear, the
very,
streets,
very rarely
Excuse
happens.
excuse me,
Very
the
rarely.
streets never leave you. You can take a woman out of the streets, but you can never take the streets out
That's
of a
not
woman.
true.
I don't think
I'm
so.
telling you.
I don't think
We
so.
have
You would
seen-
have to
I
have
don't think
very
hoes who
strong
upset
social
We have seen
controls.
reformed hoes.
Very
We've seen
strong.
them.
Reformed hoes.
There is no such thing as a reformed hoe.
No, they're there. You retire and you put your gloves up and you pass that
You
baton
hang up your boots.
to the next person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
You're
never,
like, you know what?
listen,
Been
they never
there,
never
done that.
retire. They rest, but they never retire.
No, they do retire.
Trust me.
I think
Trust me.
They do retire.
As far as age is concerned,
Yeah.
you will hang up those boots.
Yeah, because even just the prospects,
They're
like,
not
do you
there.
know? It reaches a point, like I told you, 5 years from now, even a border may not turn back. But right now, when I have it hot, that is when, like, just tune your antennas. Where is the signal strongest? Here, first see. Okay, no. Take it back this side. Like, just let it roam. That's what should be happening.
So can it be detrimental? You've talked about it being a phase, women never really outgrowing that phase. Can it be detrimental to a woman's dating life?
Yes.
If her long-term plan is to settle into a marriage and a serious relationship and commitment, then yes, because the more bodies you rack up, the harder it is for you to pair bond. And I think increasingly
Explain
this is
pair
true.
bond.
Pair bonding means to bond with someone and to be emotionally connected with them and to have an interest in growing with them. If you've had sex with so many people, you start to view people as interchangeable.
Okay, so James,
So you can never really feel content with just one.
So do men pair
Wait.
bonds?
The more a
We
man,
do.
a man wears the more women he has slept with, it's a badge of honor. To a man, it's getting experience. It's getting this. But then
Masaki,
for a
the
woman,
masaki, whatever.
it is detrimental because you can't pair bond. Like, was I sleeping with fellow women or I was sleeping with men? The same way men who are racking up bodies, why don't they have the same thing?
Well, the thing is, and the reason why, and it's the age-old debate, isn't it, about why is it's okay for a man to sleep around for a woman
Yeah.
not to. The fact is, women value sexual experience in men. You know, if a guy walked in here and said he was a virgin and had no experience dating women, you would think of him as a bit of a, weak guy.
I wouldn't mind, actually,
And a
if
lot
I
of
had
you
my own
would
experience.
probably feel very excited at the chance of
Nadia,
dating
no.
Easy.
well-known playboy, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
I think it's because of the gamble, the fact that we think when a man is exposed to different...
Sexual experiences.
Yeah, I was going to use a bad word, but let me say that.
we are being candid. Use that word.
Yeah, I mean, when he's exposed to different pussies, it
Uh-huh.
may feel like maybe he knows his way around
Yes.
around the thing,
How
but
to
it's not
please a
it's not
woman.
the case.
It's
Mine
actually
is
not.
different.
Yeah, it's not the
No,
Can
case.
you please mine? Do you know how to work your thing around mine?
But see, if women rewarded inexperience in men, more men would be inexperienced.
But you see, nowadays we don't
But you
actually
don't.
count. It doesn't count for us that much because we've learned that a man being with many women doesn't make him great
It
in
doesn't.
bed.
No, but
it doesn't.
no, but it makes
If
him
anything,
more,
it makes
him
me
more,
better-
it makes
a
him more
better
attractive.
partner.
It makes him more attractive to other women because now there is some sort of
At a
social
certain
proof.
age.
You know what it is actually?
There
It's
is
actually
social proof
it's the aura
to his
of that
value.
masculinity that he's putting out
Exactly.
there. It's not really
Exactly.
his sex game. It's not
Exactly.
really
I mean,
sex.
look, do you know how many times I've, consoled women who maybe came out of a situation with a guy that was extremely promiscuous and unfaithful and whatnot. And, try as I might, I could not easily get that same girl to fall in love with me. She instead would keep pining for these ex-boyfriends who were cheating on her and everything. And quite often they would go back, right? Only for the cycle to repeat. So if it were true that being faithful and being loyal would cause a woman to be attracted to you, I'm saying more guys would be, but the sad truth is it is not. Ladies like playboys. That's just the reality.
At some At some age, fat boy. At some age, we're attracted to, and that is why. If
Which
a woman,
age though? Which age though?
Like,
Are you saying your younger years, your more
yes,
fertile years?
yes.
For
at
those
your
who
younger
haven't
years.
heard, basically.
Well, exactly. So
if
those are
you
your
have
most
been on the
sexually
streets,
viable years,
Nope.
and it is at that age that we want to date the girls. And so, if at that age you want the playboys, then more guys are going to want to be playboys so that we can date you guys. Don't you see how this works? So I feel like it's a self-perpetuating problem. If you guys weren't pre-selecting the promiscuous men, there would be fewer promiscuous men.
yeah, I don't buy into the whole pair bonding or whatever, because I think it has always been published or promoted that women are not sexual creatures, that our sex is
By
emotional
the way,
and all that
is
stuff,
the biggest
which is a lie.
that the media has ever
It's
put
a lie.
across.
That
You guys
what?
think we're not sexual creatures?
That we
no,
don't
women are not
have
sexual
sex just for the
creatures.
pleasure of it.
Exactly.
But emotions do play a very
get emotional.
significant
Emotions
role.
play a significant role, but you know what I want more than the sex is you protecting me, you providing, you being
Exactly.
consistent.
Emotionally
Those things
available.
I can trade sex for that kind of
Yep.
thing. I'm not going to trade that kind of comfort for sex. I will choose that comfort over sex. That's the
women
difference between women and men.
Women have a dual dating strategy. It's called alpha seed, beta need. Basically, the alpha male is the one she's sexually attracted to,
Yep.
for whom all there needs to be is just a physical attraction.
Yeah.
Whereas the beta is the guy that is more supportive, dependable, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
providing.
Yeah.
Now, women keep saying that's what they want, but actually, what they want is the alpha. When it comes
What
to
we want sexually is the alpha.
what they want sexually is the alpha. So the beta, you're just the cuck. You're the guy that comes in and cleans up the sloppy mess afterwards. She never really feels any strong attraction for you. If she does have sex with you, it will be obligatory. She'll just spread her legs and lie there and wait for you to be done. Whereas when you're presenting as the alpha and entering her life, she is giving you her best sexuality, the best of what her body can muster. It's really a sweet place to be. And so many men understand that they're going to have to play one or the other role in a woman's life. Me personally, I'm a beta. I would say I'm a beta male in the sense that I'm not like super alpha, like
Yeah.
charming. I don't have game. I remember a girlfriend telling me, dude, I like you, but you have no game. And I was offended when she said
Did
that.
that break your ego? You crushed your ego.
Of course.
It hurt me. It stung me. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Then what is she actually saying? Until after many years later, I finally understood what she meant. Is that I don't sort of exude the natural charm that sort of immediately triggers a woman's sexual interest. I'm typically the guy a girl comes to when she's looking for a boyfriend. Because I'm like chill, stable, like I work hard. I'm not like too
Not the Hoe Phase
jumpy.
type of guy.
Exactly. So I'm the kind of guy you kind of want to pin down and put him on the side.
Waiting list guy.
Space holder. Of you be there, because I
Be
know
there.
you are a lot more consistent. I know if I've heard the streets and nothing is good there,
Nothing else
I'll
comes
come back
up.
and you'll sit put. I told you, like a dog, sit and wait, and the dog will sit quietly.
Actually,
and
my
wait
strategy-
until the owner comes back.
My strategy is if I approach a chick and I notice that she's in her what you are calling the whole phase,
Phase.
Yeah.
I sort of give her space and let her be.
Yeah.
Eventually, cuffing season rolls around.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she
Where
comes
it's
back.
like it's not almost Valentine's Day. And it's like shit. My girlfriends are gonna be posting pictures of flowers, and it doesn't look like I'll get anything. Is there a guy I can lock down now so that I can present an impression that I have a relationship? Or is there a guy who I can get who may take me on a
Yeah.
vacation so that I can show my friends that I'm valuable? And so yeah, when a chick is in that mindset, she may approach me or seek interest in me. I'm usually the kind of guy that fits in that
The
box.
safe guy.
The safe
Why
guy.
do I feel as if around Valentine's season, the more options you have, the more presents you will
Yes,
you will
because I've
actually
seen
get.
chicks. Cause I used to work in the corporate world, and I swear to God,
Even
my colleagues
myself.
would get gifts
Yes.
on gifts on gifts on gifts
Exactly.
on gifts.
Who would get them?
And then there is me,
The
who is in a
people their whole
relationship,
phase, yeah,
not
who
getting
doesn't
nothing.
get anything. Because me, the time I received the most amount of gifts were in my whole phase of, James has sent, John has sent,
Yes.
Brian has sent, Andrew has sent. I have like 7 of them. Then
But see, the problem is, here's the problem. You can never advertise those gifts, can you? Because
But does it matter?
if
Like,
you're in, listen,
You
if you're
do.
in what you're saying is the whole phase, and let's say you're fielding all
It's
these
about
offers.
blocking James.
Listen, so
and
if
putting
James,
for the
David,
rest.
Steven, and Martin have all sent you gifts, you can't dare post that gift.
You
But
on
also,
social media.
let us
So if
define
I'm posting
advertising.
James, I block Steven, I block George,
So-
I block Andrew, I block this. If I'm posting Andrew, I block James. So that
You don't
everyone sees
understand.
that, oh my
You don't
God.
understand. My point is simple. Okay, yeah. And so you are saying that you would block them all, but it's
Yes,
impossible.
the
You
thing
can't
is,
do that.
who needs to see? My friends?
Exactly.
Everyone at work has seen the flowers coming. Oh, Nadia, another package.
Yeah, but at work they don't know.
Exactly.
who sent
Another
it.
package.
That's all I need to know.
But if you see, here's the thing.
We have a package at the front
let me put
desk.
it to you
You
this
go.
way. So imagine I'm one of the guys on your roster,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to be serious about things, and I'm maybe even spending money on you and buying you gifts, and then I see you post a gift you received.
I make sure you don't see.
Obviously, I'm going to withdraw from the race. I'm going to just look at you and be like, oh, this chick is playing games. She has so many other dudes. She's a hoe or something like that, which is why you would have to be in a serious relationship to be able to publicly advertise gifts that you have received without risking affecting your rotation of men.
I get what you mean.
You get what I'm saying. So that's why it can be frustrating. You can have 10 guys all sending you gifts, but you can't show anyone, because then what will
Your
the other
friends
dudes
will
say?
see. Your
Your
colleagues,
friends
your
will
neighbors
see.
will see. That's
Everyone
what
will
matters.
see. Like you open your boot and there are like 3 security people helping you
Card,
carry. on
cakes
Valentine's
you're
Day.
carrying cakes on cakes.
Like exactly.
Your
Like,
house is full of
exactly,
flowers.
full of everything. You're giving, guys at the front. Everyone is seeing. So in a nutshell, James thinks the whole phase is not a phase.
It's not a phase, yeah.
It's a default.
Yep, it's the woman's default state. The relationship is the phase. The marriage is the phase. But by nature, she's a hoe. And I don't use the word in a disparaging way. It just describes the behavior of continuously keeping and maintaining your open sexual and romantic options.
And
so
what does that make a man who is doing the same, who is continuously also?
call him whatever you want. I don't mind.
Gigolo.
The boy child advocate has stepped. So I think you need to heal. We need to get you a therapist, and you really, really, really do some deep work. I don't think the whole phase is a permanent state of being for a woman. If it was a permanent state of being, it would actually be a very good thing.
Yeah.
Because it means that even in my 50s, once I am done, I've chewed James and there's nothing sweet and I spit him out, there is another person waiting. Unfortunately, there is no one.
Yeah.
There is no one waiting. You're gonna go out there, and your fallback position are probably your kids who will give you respect. In terms of men, it's not there. So to me, I think the whole phase is a phase. Now, should every woman go through the whole phase? I still think yes. I still think every woman should, because for some reason,
Stay virgins till marriage.
You get the worst dick of your life and
those
settle
ones,
with it.
exactly.
Because the other problem, and I don't want to sound rude, but a lot of you ladies who've been out and about and been on the streets, your machinery isn't in the best shape.
No way.
Who says?
No way.
We can
No
even
way.
push triplets and the thing snaps back.
Nope.
Who told you it's those
It's
things?
what
It's
men
what
like to
men
use.
have said
Yeah.
to make us feel as if we only sleep with one man, it makes us look, very
I'm
good.
telling you, wear and tear is a real thing. Wear and tear is a real thing. And I don't care how many Kegel exercises
We
you
shall
do.
have another episode on the body count.
Yes.
Is that your parting shot? Or were you still adding on?
No, I'll throw it back to you because I'm so baffled with James's explanation.
The machinery.
Wear and tear? Oh my goodness. No.
So anyway, I think it's a phase. I think every woman, okay, not every woman, but most women experience it in one way or the other. You may not necessarily be banging 5 men, 6 men at the same time, but you've really had a chance where you've kept your options open. Many men are approaching you. You capitalize it the best way you can. So I think it's necessary for reasons being once you explore that phase and maximize it to the fullest, it'll be very hard for you to get back on the streets and hoe again in the same way.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Because
Unless you're really just a hoe.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's necessary because once you've quenched that thirst to the max, you'll get your beta guy, and he'll be able to give you everything. And he'll 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 give you everything. the nice guys, settle down with a guy and be fine. Like have kids
You won't
and live
be,
happily
but you'll
ever
be cheating
after.
on him with the alpha.
You won't. You
No,
won't.
because
you've been there, done that. There's
And
nothing.
the thing is that all those alpha males are
They don't take you anywhere.
They treat you
They
like
are.
crap.
They don't take you anywhere.
That's why you like them. Unfortunately,
No.
Yes, because that
It's a
wears out.
phase.
It wears out.
It wears
It really wears out.
Yeah.
you'll see.
Yeah, so that's,
That's
it.
all I'll say.
I'd like us to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please share, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. We shall be back again with another episode of Purely Candid. Until then, ciao.
1, 2,